me at pool, and then she kissed me like there was nobody else in the room.
Hey guys, my name is JD Furious. Welcome back to another reaction video, and today we are reacting to Thanos was wrong, he can't snap. Avengers Infinity War by the film theorists. Now, if you don't know what Avengers Infinity War is, I mean, you basically had like 2 months to watch it. If you couldn't watch it, I'm not saying like it's bad or anything, but you know, you had 2 months, bro. Anyway, I'll break it down for you. Spoilers, if you know all that. So here's the deal: all the people from Marvel go up to face Thanos, you know, the person that's on the screen right now, to get all these power stones, which represent a different power. But in the end, Thanos gets all power stones, and once he snaps his fingers, you know, they all fade away. And in later movies, like the Ant-Man the Wasp, and you know, that's actually it. That's the only other movie I've watched besides Avengers Infinity War. But in the Ant-Man the Wasp, you know, they all fade away, and Ant-Man is trapped in the quantum realm and whatnot. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe, like, and comment to the film theorists. You know, also the game theorists as well. You know, kind of like the same kind of content, but this one does movies. And yeah, goodbye, my fellow reactors.
Buddy,
I mean, wait, crap.
Love you, but after all these movies
Hold
and
up.
all that...
I freaking said goodbye, my fellow. Oh my god, what is wrong with me? Alright, I meant to say subscribe, like, and comment to film theorists, game theorists, and myself. And yeah, let's get right into the video.
effort to get those Infinity Stones, your big triumphant moment where you vaporize half the universe finally comes around and you choose to snap? Snap! I mean, come on, we're not all Picasso here, but it's just uninspired. Think of all the other things you could have done. The Thanos clap. The Thanos punch the sky. The Thanos dab. A little dated, but still relevant with the youngsters. The Thanos shadow puppet. The Thanos American Sign Language. It would be great for building awareness of other forms of communication.
Wait, what's that?
None of those? Well, that's just uncalled for. No one asked for the Thanos middle finger salute. Well, now you're just being childish.
Bump, bump, bump. I watch a lot of film theorists and game theorists anyway, so I know like what they do and whatnot. Yeah, science.
Hello, Internet! Welcome to Film Theory, the show that makes being a know-it-all about all your favorite franchises a snap. Now that we've all had time to sit back and reflect on the glory that was Avengers Infinity War, I wanted to bring up something that's been bugging me about it. Don't get me wrong, I love this movie. It was basically the Marvel Cinematic Universe meets Survivor All-Stars. I mean, I'm sitting there in the theater seeing how many of my favorite Marvel characters are in this thing, and I can't tell where my own...
Mine were Spider-Man and Black Panther.
The fake butter flavoring on my popcorn begins. Yet, in spite of all of that, there's one part of this movie that I found just a bit too implausible to let go. And when I think back about it, I actually let a lot of things go for this movie. I mean, Heimdall can see everything but Mrs. Thanos' ship. Sure, we all make mistakes. Thor can just jam somebody else's eye into his socket.
That's kind of disgusting. That was disgusting.
Whatever, I guess he's a god. The mortal rules don't apply to him. Doctor Strange has literally the whole movie to use his time stones and just doesn't, even though he should see Thanos' plans.
Like, he could have legit rewinded time.
And he has portals that are able to rip people in half, or at the very least capture them, which should make pulling off the gauntlet very easy. You know, I don't have an explanation for that. It's movie magic, okay? And Doctor Strange is my favorite Marvel superhero, so he basically gets a free pass all around. No, the problem I had with this movie was none of these things. It was this scene.
That's why you're all...
It was over in a snap, literally.
Faded
Thanos
away.
snaps his fingers and wipes out half the universe for the sake of resource conservation, like some sort of over-enthusiastic Al Gore. But there's a problem here. The snap itself, the actual act of clicking his fingers like a hulky Dorothy trying to click her heels to get back to Kansas. I mean, come on! He's wearing a giant gauntlet made of uru, a metal. He can't just snap his fingers while he's wearing that, right? Think about every movie you've ever seen where people are wearing metal armor. Every Game of Thrones episode. Heck, every British period piece where they wear
but they never snap their
gloves.
fingers, so we don't know if they can actually snap their fingers.
I mean, I can't even unlock my cell phone when there's a little French fry grease on my fingers, so snapping in a gauntlet is near impossible. And not by the rules of some convoluted comic book universe, but by the basic laws of physics. It's moments like this where I'm like, Marvel, I love you. I count down to every release you have like a 6-year-old counting down to Christmas. But sometimes it's like, do you even science, bro? So I have to call you out, answer the tough yet essential questions here, and show you why Thanos' finishing move is a deafening dud. To the Theorist Mobile! If we want to
Oh my
determine
god.
whether you can snap while wearing the Infinity Gauntlet, we should first clarify what's actually making the sound of a snap. Duh, MatPat, a snap is just the sound that your finger makes when it hits your palm. You, the 22-year-old master of acoustics, might be saying,
It hits your
well,
palm?
let's put that assertion to the test. First, snap your fingers. Now, do the same
I actually
thing,
don't
but
do
pull
like
your
this.
index finger, ring
I do
finger,
like
and
this,
pinky away
like
from
with
your
my
hand.
nails.
I'm completely serious. Try it now. Everyone all done? It sounds pretty different, right? Keep trying to snap with your fingers in different arrangements. I mean, sure, it still makes a sound when your middle finger hits your palm. It just doesn't make the same kind of
I have to do like
snapping
this.
sound. And that's because snapping
can't
is
do- I
actually
can't do it like that.
acoustically a lot more complicated than we imagine. It's this thing that most of us learn to do when we're 6 or 7 specifically to use as social currency in first grade, and yet to this day it remains one of these universal mysteries that we don't really understand about our own bodies. So let's unravel that mystery right now. True, the thud of your finger hitting your palm makes a sound, and so does your finger as it moves down your thumb and pops off at the end. But actually both of those sounds are quiet compared to the popping noise that's made by the air in your hand. Now that might sound weird, but when you snap, the air that's trapped in your hand is what's making the big sound, or in our case, making half the universe disappear. Let me show you. Look at the shape of your hand when you're getting ready to snap. It should look roughly like this. You'll see that your ring finger and pinky are pressed against your palm, roughly creating a cone that's closed or nearly closed at the bottom. When your middle finger moves towards
I
your
can't do
palm,
that.
the cone
I don't
changes
do
shape
that.
really quickly, which actually forces air up and out of the cone towards your index finger. The reason why most people have a similar hand position when they're snapping is because this cone shape ends up being the best for amplifying sound. The movement out of your hand cone projects sound and the air pressure in one concentrated direction. This is crucial for the snap, and it's
Alright, I'm in
actually
8th
the same
grade, but
way
I
that the
barely
blaring
understand any of
a
this.
horn or a brass
Just
instrument
forgot
works.
everything
The
about
more you
school.
compress the air in the cone with your fast middle finger movement, the faster the air will be to
But it
rush
kinda
out
makes
of your
sense.
hand cone, and the louder the snap sounds. That's why when you move your middle finger faster, you get a louder snap than when you move your middle finger slower. If you want to snap even louder, you can use 2 hands. Seriously, it's called the Persian snap.
The
And while
Persian
YouTube tutorials I
snap?
found were hopeless in teaching me how to do it effectively, you can hear for yourself how loud it can be. So here's the rub. Thanos is
That's
actually
weird,
creating this
though.
shape with his hands. He's actually got pretty good form going into the snap. So shouldn't he be able to create a great sound at the climactic moment? Well, no. Because if you thought that physics has already ruined snapping for you, you ain't seen nothing yet. More sciencing! The second issue
my
is
God.
one that was actually recognized in the movie, or at least in the movie filming. Josh Brolin, the actor who plays Thanos, reveals that when he was doing motion capture for the movie, the Infinity Gauntlet was represented by a hockey glove, and that posed some problems.
And to snap with hockey gloves on just doesn't work.
So does that mean it would be impossible to snap while wearing any kind of glove on a hand, including one that's
Yeah,
made
probably.
of magical rocks? Well, not necessarily. One of the issues with snapping while wearing gloves is that your fingers create less friction with the snapping motion. Basically, they're more slippery, which means that the air in the cone never gets a good pop. Relative to gloves, human skin has a high coefficient of friction, meaning that you actually need a lot of force to get skin to move on other skin. But to give you a comparison, the coefficient of friction on the palm of your hand is about 0.62. The coefficient of friction on cotton is about 0.51, and the coefficient of metal, like aluminum, is 0.42. Since metal has a lower coefficient of friction than a lot of other materials, it'll naturally be worse at snapping than almost anything else you could wear. That
So the
means that
gauntlet
when
shouldn't
losing
be able to,
friction, you
like,
can actually make up for
you
it
shouldn't
with
be able to
sheer
snap with the
force.
gauntlet.
You can try this at home just with your fingers. Hold your middle finger against your thumb loosely and snap. It's kind of dull and quiet, right? Now press your middle finger really hard against your thumb and snap. It's much louder. By increasing the force required to overcome the friction, you speed up the moving finger.
I'm sorry, I cannot do
speeds
that.
up the air that's being compressed, which in turn makes the snap louder. Could you do the same thing while wearing a magical metallic gauntlet? Theoretically, yeah, especially if you're as strong as a mad titan. The other thing that's actually sitting in Thanos' favor here is metal's ability to conduct sound. Going back to what I said a few minutes ago, that snapping moves air a lot like a brass instrument or a horn, have you ever stopped to wonder why horns are made of metal and brass? Well, it has a lot to do with the fact that metal is actually a great sound conductor. This is because at the molecular level, metal molecules are arranged in a lattice structure, which just means
Oh,
that the
God,
molecules
the
repeat
freaking
the same patterns
science.
over and over and over over again. When you have that kind of molecular structure, it's able to carry sound.
I mean, I know it's a
waves through
solid.
in a
That's all.
very
I
uniform
know it's
way,
solid in
preserving the
semiconductors,
sound
but I don't
wave and
know
either
how
allowing
it
it to
works.
bounce right off or projecting it outward. Fabrics like cotton or leather that you might use for other kinds of gloves have a totally different molecular structure because they're polymers. Instead of being able to preserve the sound, polymers, which are long and tangly, break up the sound waves and absorb them, making them really bad sound conductors. That's why fabrics are used to absorb sound. So it seems like everything should be aligning for the Infinity Gauntlet to make one tremendous and thunderous snap like you hear in the movie. Except there's one huge factor getting in the way. You know how we said that metals transfer the forces applied to them into the surrounding air? Well, that's assuming that air is the thing that's surrounding them. Again, think about a trumpet or a horn. There's air vibrating inside the horn caused by your mouth blowing all that nice air and spit, and it's transferred to the outside all along the horn and through the metal's ability to vibrate as the cone widens at the end. The Infinity Gauntlet, though, has a problem, which is that Thanos' hand is in it. If we were able to take his hand out, you'd actually get a lot of reverberation from a snapping sound because the metal would be free to vibrate with air on either side.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Because this is the Infinity Gauntlet and was made specifically for Thanos by the Dwarf King, we know that this gauntlet genuinely fits like a glove. The glove do fit, you can't quit. That means that when Thanos snaps, his fingers inside the gauntlet will actually be deadening his own snap, with most of the sound energy simply being transferred into his own skin. This isn't to say that there won't be any sound when Thanos snaps.
Which won't be a
that
lot of
instead
sound.
an actual snap or even a kind of metallic clunk, we're just more likely to get a metal grinding sound from how hard he has to press to get the snap
that
to
sounds
work in the first
painful.
place. It's not exactly impressive for the Master of the Universe. After researching all of this for the last couple weeks, I wanted to see if anyone had tested snapping in metal gloves. So as I was literally finishing the last couple sentences of this episode, I found out that my buddy Kyle Hill over on Because Science actually did an episode covering this topic a couple weeks ago. He takes a very different approach to this, where instead of diving into the acoustics, he goes for the practical physics and actually tries on a bunch of different gauntlet recreations from one of my other favorite creators on YouTube, Tony Swanton from Sword in the Stone, who makes all kinds of movie and video game weapons in real life. If you want to see some of the stuff that they
Man, I want a gauntlet.
you just can't get enough of fictional gauntlet
I want
physics,
armor
well,
to
definitely
protect
check
myself.
that one out. And yes, before you run off to the comments and remind me that Thanos literally has the power of all the universes in his hand so he can make his snap sound like anything he wants.
No, the memes.
And at the end of the day, remember, it's just a theory.
A film theory.
And now that you know Thanos' dirty little secret behind his lame finishing move, you can ruin Infinity War for all your friends and family. But it doesn't have to stop with Marvel movies. Oh no!
You can start with a
There's
lot of
whole world
movies, though.
bizarre physics out there to make you and everyone you know weirded out or paranoid about pretty much anything you could ever want. Basically the thesis of Game Theory and Film Theory's channels. In all seriousness, taking the stuff we take for granted every day and learning about how it actually works, whether it's how we snap, why your toaster flips bread in the air, or even why you can see through glass, has always been mind-blowing to me. If you're into the same kinds of things as I am, well, you need to check out our sponsor for today's episode.
I mean, I go
which is
into stuff, but I don't go
audible.com,
into
where you
it
can
that
tap into
deep.
an entire library of
This kid
content on
just
everyday physics. Learn
goes
about how hybrid
really
cars
deep
actually
into it.
work while on your commute by listening to the physics of everyday things. Or understand how the touchscreen on your phone works while trolling through social media on your touchscreen phone while you listen to Stuff Matters. This is suddenly a really meta sponsorship, but seriously, this stuff is amazing. And because it's all in audiobook form, it's just getting smarter through the process of osmosis. Just listen and let the knowledge pass into your brain. If you haven't tried Audible yet, now is the
Yeah,
time
guys, go
to
try
do it,
some
because They
Audible.
have a whole bunch of new ways you can get the service
mean,
and try out a big discount.
I
All
don't
during
like
July, if you're a
reading,
member of
so
Amazon
I'd rather have
Prime,
people
which,
read
let's
for
face
me.
it, most of us are, you can get Audible for
Sounds
just
freaking weird, too.
$4.95 a month for the first 3 months, which is basically getting 3 months for the price of 1 regular month. Just that alone gets you all the way through the summer and the beach reading that you're going to be doing, except without the glare on your screen from where you actually have to read a book. When you're a member, you also get an audiobook credit every month, so you can try out new books as they roll out all year long and add them to your library. But if it turns out that you don't like the one that you picked up, you can just exchange it and get a different one, no problem. And one other nice thing is that as you build up an Audible library, you keep it forever. Something I hate about
Oh my
subscription
God.
services is that if I need to give it up, I lose everything that's in my subscription library. But with Audible, you keep everything
I mean, with
you own
books,
in your
though, like,
library, even
I'd
if
rather
you
actually
leave.
go to
There's
a
also now
regular
multiple ways to
library,
get
though.
Audible on online, if you're
Because
watching
you get
from a
like your
computer
library
at
card and you can like take the books back.
audible.com/filmtheorists, or if you're watching from your phone and you really like sending text messages, you can also text Film Theorists, FILMTHEORISTS, to
Made sure to
500
spell
500 and they'll send you a custom link to sign up. We also just have the link right in the description below, so honestly you should just click that there and start jamming out to the smooth sounds of practical physics or literally any other topic you could
Are you
want.
sure
I know
about
the
that?
FNAF books are out on Audible,
Okay.
so if you don't want to bother reading through those things, you can just listen to them and try to unearth the lore for yourself. Good luck with that one. Anyway, that's audible.com/filmtheorists. Link is in the description. Seriously, guys, if you want to get smarter this summer, just listen to a couple books. It is totally worth your time. And now, if you'll excuse me, I need to get back to that Purge episode that I promised last week, and that didn't come out this week. Sorry, it was actually a lot tougher to figure out than I expected. See you then!
So yeah, hope y'all enjoyed the video. This was a really good video. I didn't even think about that. I didn't know that with metal, you know, you couldn't snap, or you can snap, but like it makes like metal grinding. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed the video. Subscribe, like, and comment to the Film Theorist, the Game Theorist. You know, go check out Audible for those audiobooks so you don't have to read them yourself. And yeah, I gave y'all 4 videos because I decided to do like an extra one. And yeah, goodbye, my fellow reactors.
Baby, there's nothing holding me back. You take me places that tear up my reputation, manipulate my decisions. Baby,